I think games can definitely be educational. In fact, when I was younger and I was taking my GCSEs, we had our GCSEs on the Battle of Hastings, and I played the Medieval 2 Total War tutorial, which is in the Battle of Hastings, and I just wrote about everything that I played in the game, and I got an A-star.
So if you think of like different genres of games, so where we work with strategy games here at Creative Assembly, you're trying to problem solve. So, you're trying to think, how can my empire beat that empire? I'll build a bigger army, I'll perhaps build this building or that. If you think of puzzle games, again, it's problem solving, you're trying to fit these pieces together, so you're really thinking hard about that. Platform or FPS, it's more hand-eye coordination, reaction-based, not necessarily, maths, English and that, but they're different kind of soft skills, if you will.
And I think there's a few ways that you can go about it. There's the route of like full educational games like Frog Fractions, is it? Where you have to answer maths questions to progress. Or you can have games that are sort of passively educational, maybe an RPG game that's very text-oriented, it's a lot of reading, or logic games that make you think hard, and team games make you work together with people, and that's a good skill to have too.
After secondary school, I did an IT apprenticeship, which was a more sort of generalist apprenticeship because I didn't massively know what I wanted to do at the time. And it made me realise that, maybe I did want to go back to college and specialise in games for a little bit. So I took a generalist games design course, which really helped me whittle down what my skills in making games were, which was writing and talking to people.
Someone showed me animation software, and I was like, oh my God, I can do animation without drawing. That's amazing. And then I wanted to go into film. Games was, if I'm honest, games felt easier to get into, and I saw it as a stopgap to film, and then I just didn't leave because it was fun.
Do you have to go to university to work in games? No, you don't. We've had many new starters join Creative Assembly without a uni degree. There's alternative ways you can learn to study in the area that you're interested in, as well as working on personal projects.
There's designers, people who come up with rules for games and come up with storylines, artists and programmers who make the game work, audio, lots of teams come together to bring you this one whole thing.
A lot of people think games are like, made in like such a short period of time, and it's just like one done, let's get on to the next. But some of these things can take months, years, and they require a lot of teamwork.
I think the most important part of testing a game is just playing it yourself. That's how you establish if your core loop is fun. From there, I would give it to other people. Let them have a play with it and really listen to their feedback.
Watch them play it, see how they react to things, see if they're reacting the way you expect them to, and ask them their opinion on it.
If you're trying to make your own game at home, there is quite a lot of free software that you can get access to these days. But for younger people, you can get access to Codia, Scratch, GameStar Maker. There's lots of these things that you can, jump into. As well as that, it's not just a case of you'll download these things and go at it yourself. There's online courses that you can get, YouTube tutorials, blogs, forums, loads of resources out there to help you do this.
I think one tip I would say is find a really simple game and try and recreate that. So the famous example that always gets used is Flappy Bird, the simple mobile game where you tap and the bird flies. Recreate that.
I would say you don't even need a computer. You can start with pencil and paper. You could come up with some rules yourself, cut out some tokens and things and make a board game. Or you could make a choose your own adventure book. But if you did want to look at making a game on the computer, you can look at a few game engines or languages. So if you're just starting out, Scratch is a really good visual programming language. But if you want to go more advanced, there's game engines like Unity or Unreal. But you might also find communities in your local area. There might be schools that do coding clubs and things like that. That's worth looking into too.